Hi, this is Mrs. Show. Today we're going to find the prime factorization of a number. Today we're going to concentrate on larger numbers. This is the second day of prime factorization. Okay, so to find the prime factorization, what we do is make a factor tree. When we make a factor tree, like on number 1, we're trying to find two numbers we can multiply to get 200. So as I go through these, please do these problems with me in your notebook. Okay, we're making a factor tree on number 1 for 200 to find the prime factorization. So I'm thinking 200 ends in a 0. So if it ends in a 0, I know I can take 10 times something to get 200. Okay, and actually if I cover up 1 0 and 200 like that, I'll know it's 10 times 20. So 10 times 20 is 200. Then I'm going to try to figure out, well, is there something I can multiply to get 10 besides 1 times 10? You never want to use ones in your factor trees because you're trying to get prime numbers, and 1 is not a prime number. So I know I could take 2 times 5, so I break down my 10 into 2 times 5. 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it, and 5 is a prime number because only 1 times 5 is 5. Now I'm going to look at 20 and ask myself, is there something I can multiply to get 20 besides 1 times 20? Well, yes, I could do 4 times 5. I could have also done 2 times 10, but I chose 4 times 5. Now I'm going to ask myself, is 4 prime? No, because I could take 2 times 2 to get 4. So I'm breaking down my 4 into 2 times 2. I know 2's are prime because only 1 times 2 is 2. And 5 is prime, I'm going to circle it. So now my answer is all the circled numbers, and we write our answer using exponents. We always put the lowest number circled first, so 2 is lower than 5. Notice I have 1, 2, 3 of them. So it's 2 to the third times 5. How many 5s do I have? 1, 2. So 5 to the second. All right, so in your notebook, write down example 2, 175. And we're going to try to make a factor tree to find the prime factorization. So I'm noticing 175 ends in a 5. So I know 5 goes into 175 evenly. So what I'm going to do is take 175 and divide by 5. Let me see, 5 will go into 1, but 5 will go into 17 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, get 2. Bring down my 5. 5 goes into 25, 5. You could also use your multiplication table if you would like to divide that. So now I know 5 times 35 is 175. 5 is prime because only 1 times 5 will give me 5. But 35 is not prime. So there's something I can multiply to get 35. Okay, yes, it is 5 times 7. And then 5 is prime because only 1 times 5 is 5. And 7 is prime because only 1 times 7 is 7. So now I've broken it down into all prime numbers. I need to write my answer using exponents. So I start with the lowest one, the 5, and I count, okay, how many 5s do I have? I have 2. So it's 5 to the second times, how many 7s do I have? Just 1. If I have 7 to the first, I don't have to write to the first power. So my answer would be 5 to the second times 7. Okay, number 3, write in your notebook 144. Okay, I'm trying to think of what can I multiply to get 144. You can use your multiplication table and look for 144. I know 12 times 12 is 144. So I could start out 12 times 12. Right, now I got to think, what can I multiply to get 12? I don't want to use 1 times 12, but I do know 3 times 4 is 12, so I could break that down into 3 times 4. 3 is prime, so I'm going to circle it, because only 1 times 3 gives me 3. But 4 is not prime. I can make my 4 into 2 times 2. 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle my 2's because they're prime. And then I can't forget to go up here and think about 12. Is 12 a prime number? No. I could do 3 times 4. I could do 2 times 6. Either way will work. And then I'm going to check, is 2 prime? Yes, it is. Only 1 times 2 is 2. Then I'm going to check 6. Is 6 prime? No. I can multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. So I know 2 is prime, because only 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 is a prime number. So my answer is all the circled numbers. So I start with the lowest, which is 2, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of them. So it's 2 to the 4th times 3. Well, how many 3's do I have circled? 1, 2. So it's 2 to the 4th times 3 to the 2nd. Okay, let's look at 360. So in your notebook, write down example 4, 360. Okay, I'm noticing it ends in 0. That means 10 goes into it evenly. So I'm going to start with 10 times something. Now what I could do is cover up the last digit, the 0, and then I'll know it's 10 times 36. So 10 times 36 is 360. Now I got to keep going until I have all prime numbers. So I'm thinking to myself, it's 10 prime. No, because I could take 2 times 5. So I'm going to break down my 10 into 2 times 5. Is 2 prime? Yes, only 1 times 2 is 2. Is 5 prime? Yes, because only 1 times 5 is 5. So I'm going to circle them. Then I'm going to go to the 36. Is 36 prime? No, I could take 3 times 12, 9 times 4, 2 times 18, 6 times 6. Maybe I'll do 9 times 4. Then I'm going to look at it and say, is 9 prime? No, because I can take 3 times 3. Is 3 prime? Yes, I'll circle 3's. Is 4 prime? No, because I could take 2 times 2. So my answer are the circle numbers. The lowest one is a 2. I have 1, 2, 3 of them. So it's 2 to the 3rd. Then I have 3's. How many 3's do I have? 2 of them. And then I also have a 5, but I only have 1 of them. So it would just be 5 to the 1st. All right, look at example 5. We're finding the prime factorization of 225. I am noticing that it ends in 5. So if it ends in 5, remember what goes into it. 5 does. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to the side and take 225 and divide by 5. Let's see, 5 won't go into 2. 5 will go into 22 4 times. Subtract the 2, bring down a 5. 5 goes into 25, 5. So I'm noticing it's 5 times 45. Is 5 prime? Yes, only 1 times 5 is 5. Is 45 prime? No, there's something I can multiply to get 45. 5 times 9. Okay, now is 5 prime? Yes, only 1 times 5 is 5. Is 9 prime? No, we can take 3 times 3. Is 3 prime? Yes. So I'm going to circle my 3's. And then if I write my answer using exponents, I'm going to start with a 3. How many 3's do I have? 2. Then how many 5's do I have? 2. So my answer would be 3 to the 2nd times 5 to the 2nd. Okay, our last one today is example 6. Write down 240. Notice it ends in a 0, so I know I can take 10 times something. 10 times 24, right, because I just cover up a 0. Is 10 prime? No, because I could take 5 times 2. Is 5 prime? Yes. So I'm going to circle my 5, it's prime. Is 2 prime? Yes, I'm going to circle my 2. Is 24 prime? Let's see. No, I can take 3 times 8, 6 times 4, 2 times 12. Let's see, I'll pick 6 times 4. Is 6 prime? No, because I can break that into 2 times 3. Is 2 prime? Yes. 3? Yes, I'm going to circle it. Is 4? No, because I can make 4 2 times 2. Twos are primes, so I'll circle those. So if I write my answer, I'm going to count how many twos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 to the fourth. I also have a 3, but I only have 1, so it would just be a 3, and I have a 5. So my answer would be 2 to the fourth times 3 times 5. Okay, next you will go ahead and take your quiz.